Yo, hey guys, what's poppin'? This is Jacques Slade, and this is your first look at the Nike KD12. So for KD's 12 signature sneaker, Nike went a little different, and that includes everything from the shoe all the way to the box. As you can see with this box, it's just a plain brown box. In the last few years, they've been a lot more colorful, but this time they're kind of breaking it down and going with something a little more simple. It almost has a Virgil-esque appeal to it, and it has his name on the front, and I didn't know his middle name was Wayne, so we learned that little bit of information. But we also get the KD logo, also we get the 12. For his 12th signature shoe, it looks like they're going away from just saying the KD12. They're trying to, I would say, up the class of it a little bit by calling it the 12th edition, which you see here on the box as well. It also has the dates of his 12 signature shoes, and then it has his signature, and on the back you have the Nike basketball. Overall, it is just a regular Nike basketball box, but they've taken the colors to kind of tell the story a little bit more, and also I think kind of change the dynamic of what we expect from Kevin Durant. One design detail that I do want to point out to you guys about the box is the addition of the perforated logo on the top. Now, the swoosh is usually just painted on when we see Nike boxes, but this time they're taking it in a totally different direction, and I think that's helping hint at what they're doing with KD's 12 signature shoe, which is also taking it in a different direction and showing us a different side of the athlete that he is. So if you've been a fan of Kevin Durant's line over the years, you know that his shoes constantly change. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low, sometimes there's a strap, sometimes there isn't a strap. And with this version, they're redesigning the entire shoe. One of the biggest pieces of the shoe that's changing is the strobel board. For those of you that are really big fans of sneaker design and how sneakers are made, you know that the strobel board is what your foot is actually placed on inside of the shoe. For this version of the shoe, they're following some insight from KD, which was that he wanted his shoes to feel like they were broken in as soon as he put them on the very first time. If you watch KD play, you'll notice that he usually plays in the same shoe over and over and over. And as a brand like Nike, you want KD to wear different colorways of his shoes. With this new version, he'll be able to do that because they got rid of the strobel board. Kinda. With this version, you won't have to break in the KD12 because you'll have that air zoom unit that make the shoe feel like you've been wearing it all the time. Speaking of the zoom unit, you also get a zoom unit here on the heel. Now this is basically a double stacked version of zoom, which will give him that responsiveness on the heel, which is when he's playing and he comes down for a rebound. If he lands on his heel, or when he's running up and down the court, he'll have that extra responsiveness at the heel, although you don't get it at the toe. But remember, you do still have that full zoom unit as a strobel board, so you still have that responsiveness. It's just not placed in the outsole, which is where you would usually feel it. Because Nike wants you to have that broken in feeling, they've actually thinned out the insole. Usually with basketball sneakers, the insole is thicker than usual. However, with these, they thinned it out to make sure you can actually feel that air zoom unit that they've used to replace the strobel board. This, again, will give you that broken in feeling so you can feel that zoom unit right away, as opposed to having to break in your shoe and also breaking in that insole. The next big change to the sneaker is going to be on the upper. Although the shape is different, they also use different materials on the shoe. Instead of getting the traditional leather that we usually see or the synthetic leather that we've seen in the past, Nike is going with a synthetic translucent material that gives the shoe a little bit more give. Again, the whole purpose of the shoe is to feel like the shoe is broken in from the very first time that you put it on, so they get rid of some of those stiffer, stronger materials to give you something that can adjust to the shape and the feel of your foot a little bit more. One of the other material choices that Nike made when it comes to this shoe is on the tongue. Generally, the tongue is made out of the same material that the upper is made out of, but in this situation, they're switching it to Flyknit. Again, the whole theme around the KD12 is to make it feel like it's broken in as soon as you put the shoe on. With this situation with the Flyknit, as you guys know already, it's soft, it's malleable, so it fits right around your foot and feels really comfortable. And in addition to that, they've actually added padding on the inside of it as well to help reinforce that soft, broken in feeling that you're used to when your shoes are worn in. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, Nike has added some padding in there as well, which is obviously there to help protect your Achilles and give you some comfort around there. As most of you guys already know, it's not actually the height of the shoe that provides the protection and stability for your ankle, it's the heel cup. And with the KD12, they've added some padding around your heel and around your ankle to give you a little bit of extra protection, but they've also inset the heel cup a little bit just as well to give you that extra comfort and that extra stability that you need right there. And then for the Achilles, it's padded again, and it's perforated on the sides to give you that extra protection that you need and also provide a little bit more comfort. As far as the lockdown goes with this shoe, which is obviously important in basketball because of the way that you move, Nike is introducing what they're calling a 4-axis Flywire that's underneath the translucent layer. Basically, this acts almost like those Chinese finger traps. If you guys remember those, the harder you pull, the more it would lock you down, and when you let go, it would kind of release your fingers. Think of that same concept when it comes to the Flywire that's in this shoe. The more that you move, the more it's going to tense up to your foot, and the more that you relax, the looser it's going to get. So you have that responsiveness and you have that lockdown feeling that you need in a basketball shoe. Whenever you're cutting or driving to the hole, those Flywires will almost kind of clamp down on top of your foot to give you that locked in feeling that you need. And the final details obviously come down to the small details and accents on the shoe. For instance, we have two heel, I guess I want to call them heel flags. One has Kevin Durant's name, the other one has that it's the 12 signature shoe. We also have some extra durable areas around the toe that help keep you from scraping your shoe. If you play basketball and you like to drag your toe, there's a lot of extra protection around there, and that'll add that extra durability that you need. And with a price point like the KD12 at $150, this is typically a shoe that kids will get either playing outdoors or that they can rough up a little bit. So you have that extra protection there to help keep you locked in. As far as this particular colorway goes, this is the 90s inspired colorway. Kevin Durant was born in 1988, so he basically grew up in the 90s, and so that's where this colorway is inspired from. You also see a lot more colorways that kind of speak to Kevin's personality, which is something that we as sneakerheads always appreciate, being able to tell a deeper story with the sneakers that we wear. And with Kevin, and this year, I think Nike is really going to push that angle with him, telling more stories about him and allowing us to learn a little bit more about him through his sneakers. As far as the release dates go for the KD12, this is like the pre-release versions that we've seen in the past. So this colorway will be dropping on April 1st. There's a black and white version that you've probably seen leaked on the internet. That one's going to be releasing on April 8th. And as I previously mentioned, the KD12 is going to cost you $150. So this was your first look at the Nike KD12. I am Jacques Slade. As always, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, favorite, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And if you really love what you see here, why don't you go ahead and turn on those notifications. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.